I imagine that there will be a gigantic effect on our country if this man becomes president again in a few days. But
let's find out
we
from
can't
him
wait
directly.
anymore. I was really trying to steer that thing towards those bridges because I saw definitely coming down the pipe a glaring need for this, especially when you got dummies that friggin' sell after they bought, especially in a down market.
It's
So
not
this
everybody's
is
a dummy. There's lots of people who that needs to happen because they're very
hindsight,
specific
you're
on
a
what
dummy.
they're looking to buy for. You know, they're
I
trying to buy
get
something
it.
really unique.
Oh, like this is the only time this house will ever come up, and I have to have it.
Exactly.
My
It's
wife
emotional,
blah,
but they've been in the
blah.
same house for 30 years and they don't want to move until they know where they're going.
Yeah, well, unless you have to, don't be a dummy. Sell your place first, then figure it out. Rent a place for a couple months if you have to. Go live somewhere on a couch. Do whatever you have to do. Don't get caught in the trap where you're counting on a specific amount so you can afford the thing you just bought and you don't get it, because that sucks. And yes, of course, TK, every situation is different and blah, blah, blah. But if you can wait, don't be dumb. Unless somebody, I guess, comes by and offers you an offer you can't refuse. But that's not happening now, is it?
Anyways, Daryl, you've never had to actually guide someone during that process. There's plenty of people who will buy first. It's just the way it is. No matter how much you talk to them about it, you're never going to convince someone, hey, just put your house on the market for sale. It's all going to work out. Don't worry.
Well, if I convince one person today, TK, I've done my job. Okay. Now, speaking of opportunities and people potentially buy, well, I mean, we're almost at the time. I mean, and talk about condo market. Like, if anybody knows the condo market, this is the guy.
This is the guy.
Because of this guy potentially being the guy again, we have a whole segment of people at the very least searching from the USA to, you know, what can I buy something in Canada, I guess, is the search, or what's for sale in Canada.
Remember when Trump almost got elected back?
If Trump's elected, I'm moving to Canada.
Yeah, that's all it was, you know. And so now, why are people right now searching Canadian real estate from the US right before the election again? I don't know. Maybe it's the same people who don't want Trump. Maybe it's the other, you know, Kamala Harris. I don't know. You know what? Who cares about this? Not me. No. You know, because it's not that easy. You know, Americans are just like, well, I'll just move to Canada then. All right, here I go up there, settle my roots and open my business. Here we go. I'm telling you right now, it ain't that easy just to come up to Canada and live.
Well,
so you can't just be like, I'm a Canadian now because I'm from Canada Senior, known as USA.
But can they can they even buy here, or is it like part of that foreign buyer ban?
There's a foreign buyer
can't even buy anything.
Yeah, but it's like maybe they're searching for a place to rent because they want to move here. But regardless, they can't move here.
Rent.
Sure.
Rent.
Regardless.
Good call.
Americans
TK.
don't know Canadian policy. So do I expect
empty
a flood
threats
of Americans to come across the border waving American flags, driving pickup trucks, drinking soda? No.
Like what about if they're not drinking soda, TK? Anyways, TK, I don't know what, I imagine that there will be a gigantic effect on our country if this man becomes president again in a few days. But
let's find out.
We can't wait anymore. We only have him for a short amount of time. Everybody,
President Trump, come on! Thank you for coming on the show. Welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Show.
Welcome.
I am happy as hell to be here with you on the Canadian Real Estate Show. I want to make sure that I hit this huge podcast right after Joe Rogan and just before the election. Thank you for being brave enough to have me on the most viewed Canadian real estate podcast on earth. I would like to tell you thank you very much for giving me a platform in Canada large enough to send a message to your current prime minister to go and fuck himself, which I'm sure he will find pleasurable.
President Trump, I just wanted to ask you something that Canadians right now are all talking about, and it's something that's on our minds. It's something that we're all, you know, terribly afraid of. How many tariffs are you going to impose on Canadian exports? And how do you intend on building the relationship that the U.S. currently has with Canada going forward?
I am absolutely going to tariff the crap out of Canada. I'm going to tariff your lumber. I'm going to tariff your cars, and I'm tariff your beer, and I'm going to tariff the shit out of your precious oil. I love tariffs, TK.
Mr. Trump, I was wondering, we've had some interesting political action up here as well in Canada with our own elections. And if you had the chance to be the prime minister for a day, what's the first thing that you would do?
Darryl, that is a fantastic question. You are a fantastic guy. If I were the Canadian Prime Minister for one day, I would make all of the beautiful oil and, quite frankly, terrific natural resources. I would make all of the Canadian citizens partners in a company called Canada Resources. We will be rich. Quite frankly, I love the Canadian Real Estate Show. It's the best Canadian real estate show. Thank you, Darryl, and thank you, TK, for having me on. I wish you luck. You're doing a great job. You are truly doing God's work. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, make a comment, and for heaven's sake, ring the damn bell. Don't forget to check them out on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and the Clips channel on YouTube. Join the Canadian Real Estate Show Army. These guys are the real deal. Whatever you do, do not watch the Tom Story Show.
Thank you, President Trump, for joining us today. That was
our honor.
Unbelievable honor. And wow, I don't even know what to say, TK.
Darryl, like I said, we're from the basements of the COVID podcast to sometimes having our prime minister call in to the show, and now having milestone. Most likely the future U.S. President,
leader of the free world,
and really he chose one Canadian podcast, not just real estate pod. He chose one Canadian podcast to attend and participate in, and I'm not really surprised that he chose us.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you got anything from one of these clips. And if you want to see some more, press something on the screen here. Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.